All right, well, welcome everybody to Open Hour. I'm glad you're here. I'm Janae Andrus, the SALT Community Manager, and I'm really glad you guys are here. We love Open Hour. We love connecting with the community, and obviously glad that you're here to participate with SALT Project. We're really proud of being one of the largest and friendliest open source groups in the world. So today we're going to talk about some general updates. We have kind of some fun updates. We'll talk about release, packaging updates. We also want to discuss our working groups and clinics a little bit. We have a brief update on our SEPs, and we will have plenty of time for Q&A. So if you have any questions or things you want to discuss, the core team is here and can answer those questions for you. So it's an awesome opportunity to have access to the SALT engineers, the superheroes of SALT. Okay, so first of all, we want to talk about our Docs Jam. It was last week on February 10th, and it was really awesome. And I'm actually going to have Derek give us an update on the Docs Jam.
Yeah, so we actually finished. So last week we talked about in the open hour that, hey, it was awesome, but we still had some remaining merge requests we were working on at the time. And so now we've actually gotten the kind of remaining ones taken care of, and with like some of the problems we were running into at the time. And so a significant amount of work has been done. We've had several contributors, a lot of first-time contributors. The ease of use in the repo, we got a lot of great feedback of people who were able to get up and running. And so we're pretty much going to be doing, for those who did take part or those interested in the future of docs too, not just necessarily that SALT user guide, but we are having a docs working group later today too, where we're going to be kind of talking a little bit about that guide, but also, hey, what other stuff should we start planning as our kind of like primary target projects? Because there's a lot of cool stuff we could be doing. And but yeah, thank you to everybody who contributed again. And remember, you can hang out in the documentation channel in the community Slack. And I'll also provide just a link for awareness in the Zoom chat here to the SALT user guide repo for those to kind of see what we were working on.
Perfect. Thanks, Derek. Oops, I went forward. I didn't mean to go forward. I don't know how to go backwards. Well, I will tell you that our SALT Air launched today, so we're very excited about that. So for those unfamiliar, SALT Air is our YouTube video series that we've done for a very long time, really since the dawn of SALT. And we have relaunched and revamped it. There's like 50 plus episodes from when we did it before over the last half a dozen years or so. And we've relaunched it as of today and just started over with a new episode 1. And yeah, so we're very excited about that. Thank you, Derek, for posting the link to the new episode. We last night had our February virtual meetup, which was kind of a pre-launch party for SALT Air. We previewed the new episode and we kind of talked about some behind the scenes stuff. And that was a lot of fun. You can check that out on YouTube. It will be posted this week. But the SALT Air episode is up today, and there will be a new one dropped every Thursday. So check that out, subscribe to that. The way that SALT Air works is they're really kind of tight episodes there. And I mean that in the sense that it's short and pithy, not that it's like tight, but you know, but it is that too. It's pretty awesome. So we're excited about it. They're less than 10 minutes. They're fun. There's a lot of cool, like just fun banter. It's basically Tom and I discussing all things SALT, and we're going to have a lot of fun guests and things over time. So be part of that. It's a good one. So that is on YouTube. You can find tons of stuff on our YouTube channel. So SALT Project YouTube. And the link to SALT Air is in the chat. So also our next virtual meetup, we do them every month on the 3rd Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So our next one will be March 17th. And we'll have Randy Thompson from GoDaddy speaking, and we are looking forward to that. So that will be a lot of fun. for those of you who remember, we had talked about having Randy speak this month, but we wanted to do the pre-launch party, and he had some technical things that, so it just worked out to bump that to March. And we're really excited because Randy's pretty awesome. He was one of our speakers at SaltConf last year, and I think one of the top, maybe even top 3, was the most popular talk of his track. And I'm trying to remember where he fell in overall, but it was a very, very popular talk. So Randy's pretty awesome. You don't want to miss that. So that is on the calendar. Also, release updates. We had the CVE release February 25th. Aluminum is being released March 31st. So the code freeze is starting February 25th as a result. So we'll show you this. We're doing a complete freeze starting March 4th, but we're going to start just accepting less February 25th. So, but the complete freeze begins March 4th. So this is the kind of milestones of the aluminum release. Does anybody have any questions or additional comments on this timeline? Okay. Perfect. Package updates. You can join the Slack channel, the SALT package updates channel. If you want more information, you can also get on the project board on GitHub. The link is here. And yeah, so if you want to track any of those package updates, you have the resources to do so. Those are all right here. So I'll leave this up for a second. You can see it. It's an open Slack channel, so you can join that if you want to be in touch with that. Okay. So working groups, Cloud Working Group has skipped for February. They're kind of on a pause at the minute. And then the formulas working group is every other Tuesday. And so that is, they didn't meet this week, they'll meet next week. So that's when the formulas working group is. And then the docs working group is every other Thursday, and that is today, as Derek mentioned. So you can be in that today. And then we have our Mac OS and Windows working groups, which are active. And we actually are discussing opening a security working group. Very actively discussing it, pretty much going to do it. So really want to get people excited about being part of a security working group. So if you have any interest in that, we're really excited to get that going. So, and thank you to Barney for really staying on top of that and pushing that to make it happen. We're looking forward to it. So we'll be pushing that, and you'll be hearing a lot about that in the coming weeks. And then of course we have our clinics, our test clinics are Tuesday and Thursday for different things. And you can of course always see all this on our calendar, which I'm so sorry that it's on Outlook right now. We are actively looking into plugins that we can just change our calendar. So I'm looking into that a lot actually today and tomorrow. So if you have just magical insight into a great calendar plugin that we can incorporate into our website that can replace Outlook, please reach out to me and let me know, because that's something we're working on right now. And we'll let you all know as soon as we find a solution, but bear with us. Right now, everything's on Outlook, and you can find really everything at saltproject.io. We put our events up there so you can see it. And we just launched that website this month. So if you see issues there, let us know that as well. And finally, our steps. So we have actually many of our SALT enhancement proposals in their final stage, and we're excited about having moved those along. The one that we just admittedly on our faults haven't really touched is the CAB, and that's our advisory board that we keep talking about doing. I was out on medical last week or so, a week and a half or so. And so that is my ball that was dropped. So, but that's something we're still trying to get more aggressive about. So if you haven't heard a lot about the CAB, it's not because we're not informing you, it's just because we haven't moved forward on it, but we still plan to. So I just wanted to keep that on top of everyone's minds that we're still moving on that. But yeah, many of our steps are in their final stage, and those have been moving along. So if you have others to submit, go ahead, and we will be on them. So, and finally, we have plenty of time for questions and for answers. So does anyone have anything they'd like to bring up, discuss? The time is yours.
Hey, Janae, this is Nick.
Nick, how are you?
Pretty good. I think there was a mention in the last open hour by someone that maybe we could roll some Kubernetes stuff into the cloud working group, since we kind of tailed off there, and that's why we're on pause from February.
Okay.
If we wanted to try and gauge some sort of interest in Kubernetes, we could certainly sort of retool the cloud working group to include that in March and spin it up and see if anybody shows. I'm certainly open to that, but just wanted to throw that out there since it was mentioned last time.
I think that's a great idea. I've heard a lot of interest expressed. I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on that, but we can open it up too in the Slack channel and kind of ask. But that answers my question of how you wanted to move forward with the cloud. It sounds like retooling it for Kubernetes is a cool idea. I don't know if anyone has comments about that here right now, but we can certainly open that up in a Slack and see what people say.
Cool, sounds good.
Do you want to post something, or do you want me to?
You always do it so much better than I do.
That's what I'm here for. Sounds good. Let's do that. Also, Nick, we had a lot of fun harassing you in our virtual meetup yesterday. So I don't know if you were away from your keyboard, but we had a lot of fun saying things about you. So you should watch that back once it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. So I joined up, and then all of a sudden my house exploded. So I had to run out and deal with my children and things like that. So the story is that my oldest has a bearded dragon, and he decided that he was going to spray the inside of the lizard's cage, but sprayed his super hot 150 watt light instead with water, which is probably not a great thing to do. And so I ran to address that.
So when you said your house exploded, it was kind of literal.
Pretty close. It was a little bit of an exaggeration, but yes.
Oh, dang. That's funny. I mean, that's not funny. That's terrible. I'm glad. Is everything okay now?
Yeah, but by the time I got back to my desk, you guys were wrapping up.
Okay. That's good. Well, I'll be sure to send you the link when we post the video and tell you which parts to watch. So.
Sounds good.
Okay. Side note, bearded dragon sounds really cool. That's like, if I were to get some kind of lizard, chameleons like at the top of my list, and then a bearded dragon second, just so I can tell people I own a dragon, as queens should. I'm just saying.
He's taken after my wife. When we were dating, she had a Chinese water dragon. So this is the dragon family.
That's awesome.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, Bernie.
Yeah, does anybody know, so is anyone within VMware, former SaltStack, maintaining Pepper? Or does anyone know who even has maintenance rights on the Pepper repository?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Pepper under the SaltStack?
Yes, it is.
GitHub repo? Okay.
Yeah,
so I mean, it would be any of us that are within the SaltStack org. I don't believe we are actively maintaining it. not for
Okay.
lack of interest, just lack of time. It was one of those projects that started up with a need, and then just that need didn't really, with just the team just didn't have the resources to maintain that.
Okay. Because I think
Fortunately,
this I mean, I use it very heavily. I know quite a few people who do, and just sort of looking at the repo, there's 9 open PRs. It doesn't look like anything's sort of been merged since February last year. But there's open PRs and open issues. So I think there's a sort of there's an interest within the community to use it. And I just wondered if there's something we can, perhaps do to get some of those PRs merged and perhaps some of the issues to look at. I mean, if there's anything like we can do to help, that would be possible.
yeah,
Daniel
definitely.
Wallace.
I think it's something. Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
I think Daniel Wallace kind of took that over for a while, and then he left, and nobody's really taken it.
It might be helpful to, if community members are interested in reviewing PRs and just checking them out, making sure that they're reasonable and saying, hey, yeah, this looks great, or if it's something that needs to be improved, calling that out on the PR. Any help in reviewing PRs is always a good thing.
Cool. So if I went through and reviewed some of the PRs and just essentially highlighted those, that would potentially mean that some of those could get merged.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that merge process looks like personally. I've actually never. I don't think I've ever used Pepper or really done anything with it. So I'm probably the wrong person to say anything there. But yeah,
Okay.
hope that would at least be an improvement over what we've got right now, which sounds to be like nobody really paying attention. But yeah, if we can get if we get people or reviews happening, that's I think typically the part of the process that takes the longest is just checking out code and going through that back and forth process to get PRs in a mergeable state. So yeah, if we're talking about time from the core team, then
Sure.
Anything we can do to reduce that, then that will make it much more likely that we'll be able to get stuff merged in quicker.
So I also noticed that the last pull request that got merged was someone called Matt P. Actually merged it, and then someone else asked for him to have a look at a merge request later on, and he mentioned that he no longer has the ability. He's no longer maintained on this repo. So I don't know. I'm not sure who he is or why he lost his ability to maintain the repo, but
I know who he is. I've been interacted with Matt P a few times and even reviewed some of his code, but I'm not sure about any of the rest of that.
Was that
Okay,
Mark
cool.
P or Matt P?
Matt P.
Yeah, it's Matt Phelps, I think. I know he's contributed quite a lot over the years to the Salt project.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Great, thanks.
If it would help to restore access or something, we can definitely dig into that a little bit. Made a note. So thanks,
Great,
Barney.
thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up. And Barney, did you want to say anything about the security working group that we're talking about getting rolling? Do you want to put in a plug for that?
Yeah, okay, I'll be briefly. So we're looking at starting a security working group. If you have a look in the community repo, there's a pull request open. I've put some ideas down in terms of the sort of what I think the objectives and goals might be for that working group. That's, I think for me, the idea of it, or the focus, is going to be trying to work on making SaltStack, I think, secure by default is the sort of approach I'm thinking of. So look at how we can ensure that packaging or salt packages, create an installation where we aren't expecting people to either run masters root, to have to use root as to run salt, to give people a working installation that's works with least privilege and is as secure as possible, but without impacting people's ability to start using salt quickly and sort of using all its power. There's quite a lot of things around that I think we can do. So yeah, if you want to sort of contribute any ideas towards that, or have a look at the pull request, I'll stick a link in the chat. I'd love to hear what other people's ideas are in terms of what they think we could do with a security working group.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a good summary. Anyone else have anything to add? Nick, have you gotten your trophy in the mail yet? It went out early this week, I think. The warehouse messaged me this week.
No, but I am still getting Christmas cards, so.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's not like there's been, weather happening across the country that has impacted any sort of shipping lanes, right?
Right? Seriously. I know I bought a treadmill and it's delayed, and I'm sad, which is, the least of the world's problems with the snow impact. There's people in Texas with their houses flooding, and because people in Texas don't think to blow their pipes out because it doesn't get cold down there, and now they're all dealing with it. So it's rough. So hopefully no one here has been too impacted by all the weather.
We had a frozen faucet, but fortunately we were able to run a hairdryer on it, and there's at least doesn't appear to be any leaking or anything from it, so that was good. But
oh, good. And Wayne, you guys got a lot of snow down in Arkansas, didn't you?
Yeah, there's like 6 or 8 inches or something out there. We got several last night, but today is sunny and it's gone back up to like the normal 20 some odd degrees for February, as opposed to the 0 degrees it was Fahrenheit like 3 days ago, I think it was. Yeah, it's been really cold here, so everything will probably be melted or mostly melted by Friday or Saturday. But yeah, it's nice to have snow when it's you just get a little bit of it and it's not too bad. But get enough to build a snowman and play, and then it goes away. That's how snow should work. It shows up for fun and then goes away. Nice. Yeah, I read that that's the most snow Arkansas has maybe ever gotten in the last, 100 years or something significant. The temperatures have definitely been colder than they've been in at least that time. I think probably broke a few records. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, good. Is it time for a snail joke to wrap up? Anyone have a good joke? Doesn't have to be a snail joke.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell my joke then. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
That's an oldie bit of goodie.
That's horrible.
Right. I know. One of my favorites. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks everybody for coming to open hour. We love our open hour. So we love being able to connect with everybody and see you every Thursday. So we will see you next week. See you next Thursday. Thanks everybody. Have a good night or good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. Bye.